Hi guys, welcome to KK's Kitchen. Today I want to show you how to make an easy, moist, and delicious Boozy, or not, coffee cake that always gets rave reviews. It starts with a simple batter using a boxed cake mix as the base. I've tried many homemade recipes and I can honestly tell you that nothing is better than a good old-fashioned boxed cake mix. Super easy to use and great for last-minute baking. Whenever I'm mixing ingredients, I always put down a little towel on the countertop. Kind of keeps the bowl from not moving around. And I also like to use Duncan Hines. I'm just saying, it's the best thing ever. And I've used them all, but Duncan Hines, mwah. So first thing I like to do is I like to start with the eggs, and I use 4 eggs whenever I'm doing a box mix. That's it. We've got 3/4 cup of oil. If I'm feeling like I want to have, a dessert, but I don't want to have a lot of the inflammatory stuff, I will sometimes use avocado oil. And then this is the Boozy part. 3/4 cup cream sherry. That's what I like to use most of the time. It gives this coffee cake a really, really nice flavor. If you prefer a little Bailey's Irish cream, you could do that. If you did not want this cake to have alcohol in it, what you can do is you could replace the amount of alcohol that went into it, which was 3/4 cup. You could just replace that with water. All right, so we're gonna put in a teaspoon of the almond extract, some vanilla extract, again, pure, and then again, a little mix. And that's it. I'm putting in the cake mix. To make this cake extra moist, a vanilla instant pudding. So here I have the ground nutmeg, a teaspoon. We're also gonna put in a little bit of cinnamon. This is only gonna be a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. If you're not using the nutmeg, you can do, a teaspoon and a half of the cinnamon. Right now, they're just kind of sitting on top of the wet. And what I like to do is just take a spoon and just kind of mix them up together, just like that. This recipe that I'm showing you today can really be done in a multitude of flavors. So I'm just continuing to mix until it's very, very well incorporated. Stopping from time to time to scrape down the side of the bowl. We're going to transition to putting together the streusel that's going to go inside of the cake and also on the top of the cake. In this bowl, I have a 1.25 cups of flour, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the brown sugar. I do have it packed, and that goes in. And then I am also going to need 1/3 cup of granulated sugar. Sometimes even with a brand new bag of brown sugar, you can have a hard piece. Like right here, I have a little hard piece. Goodbye. I like to put a little bit of salt in it, and it kind of balances that out a little bit. And then we also need some more cinnamon. So this is going to be 3/4 teaspoon. That'll do. Doesn't have to be perfect. Clean hands, go in and make sure that we don't have any clumps again. And what I like to do with the butter is I like to just cut it into smaller pieces, like that. And just kind of put it around, like that. And pastry cutter, it really is the best tool. And basically what this pastry cutter is doing is it's cutting all of this butter into the mixture here so that it resembles small crumbs. And basically, I'm just taking a hunk of it and I'm just going like this with my fingers. That's what I've found works really well. You may want to add some nuts. So I'm going to start with a half a cup and see how that looks. And again, just kind of get that in there. Yep, that looks great. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about half of the batter in my pan. And you know how it is, you know, with bundt pans, sometimes it gets a little messy, not a problem. And then we take our beautiful streusel, and you can see how I just grabbed it and it just held together like that. Okay, that's what you're looking for. Now, what I do with the streusel is I pick up a clump and I clump it in. And that's a pretty good amount right there. And I just go around, okay? So that is going to be our center layer. Okay, and now we're ready for our top layer. Don't worry about it covering all of the streusel, because in a moment, we're gonna put more streusel on top. Grab a handful, and you're gonna put big clumps on the top of the cake. Okay, so we have our oven preheating at 350 degrees for our cake. So now that the cake is in the oven and baking, we're gonna go ahead and put the glaze together. The glaze is going to kind of be drizzled on the top of the cake once it's cooled. So in my bowl, I have 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to add roughly, you know, a half a teaspoon of almond extract. We're gonna add some water. I have a tablespoon here. What we're really looking for is a smooth consistency. I'm gonna go ahead and put another tablespoon. So I believe I'm at 4 tablespoons right now. Okay, so now you can see how that's a stream of drizzle, of glaze. That's where we wanna be. Okay, so our cake is out of the oven on a pretty cake plate, but now we get to make it even more beautiful with our glaze. Generally speaking, I like to do a little back and forth like this all the way around the cake, and already you can see how much prettier it looks. All those beautiful little hills and valleys that I mentioned to you. So look at how beautiful that is, and you can see some of the streusel in there. Just beautiful. Oh, deliciousness. This is probably the best one I've ever made. So the recipe for this delicious boozy or not coffee cake is in the description. And for more recipes like this, like, follow, and subscribe. From my kitchen to yours.